I mean, I've read everywhere that actually the net immigration from Mexico in the last 7 years has been zero, but because our economy got worse, theirs got better. Mexican women used to have 7 children, and now they have 2. I think that would make a big difference. So let's say everything you say is true, which it isn't.
Well, let's say it isn't.
Oh, looky. We are back on Real Time with Bill Maher. And now this is an oldie but a goodie, but these issues are evergreens. So, you know, if you want to complain in the comments that this is an old clip, go ahead, but it doesn't matter. These issues, just goes to show these issues have been talked about for a long time now. So this is Ann Coulter on Bill Maher, and he's got a panel of people who are obviously all going to hate on Ann Coulter, and they're talking about immigration. Let's see where it goes. I haven't even watched the clip yet, so you'll be watching this in real time with me.
That's not... Okay.
And this audience, Jesus Christ.
Your snotty little remark aside, it's irrelevant.
Okay.
The point at issue is, should America's immigration policy be used to benefit the people already here, or should it be benefiting Pakistani pushcart operators, illiterate in their own language, never mind ours, who come here, go on welfare, commit terrorism, engage in crimes?
All right, let's...
Why wouldn't you look out across the world like a sports team does and try to get the creme de la creme? Not like this audience. We don't want these people. We want the creme de la creme.
Based. Ann Coulter. Love her.
We want to up the average.
Oh, and Joy Reid just can't handle it. Yeah, good. Cry those salty tears, Joy.
Up the average.
You gotta give it to her. She ain't afraid.
No, she's
Gotta
not.
give her that.
But she's also wrong.
Okay. Now,
She's also
what's
wrong.
the rebuttal?
Look, 30 million, 12 million.
Big difference.
I would just say one thing. Worry about the 50 million Latinos in the United States of America.
Latinos? Yeah, worry about the... I mean, this guy's, you know... Why do they always do it like this? Yeah, so worry about the 50 million Latinos
America that are here legally. Worry about that 50 million who care.
Yeah, we should worry about them. Maybe they don't belong here either.
And who care deeply because of many of the people that you refer to as murderers and rapists and criminals and people that are on welfare are their aunts, their uncles, their classmates, they work with them. These are people they care about. So what I think that Ann Coulter is actually doing, along with Donald Trump, is that they're just revving up. You know, it's like a Latino registration machine. Because every time they say these things, now I say this quite seriously, 1 million Latinos turn 18 every year in the United States of America, and they're all American citizens of the United States.
And 4 million
here's what
whites
happens.
do.
And here's what happens. They become the basis of...
Maybe those anchor babies shouldn't become citizens automatically. That's, well, I believe Trump mentioned the idea of not giving automatic citizenship to anchor babies, or changing the citizenship rules, whereby just being born on U.S. soil doesn't automatically make you a citizen. And I agree 100% with that.
Of the new American coalition, the new American political coalition, that is young people, that is Latinos, that is immigrants, it's African Americans, it's Asians, it's gay people, it's people that care about the economy, and it's people that care about the environment. And look, you're never going to take the White House with this kind of politics ever again, because there's a new American politics.
If only he could look forward to today.
All right. But that didn't exactly answer her question.
Can I attempt to answer
Yes.
your question, Ms. Coulter? Because I think one of the things that we have to do in this country is to stop lying. We were earlier talking and touched on...
Wow, imagine somebody on MSNBC, Joy Reid, saying that one of the things we have to do in this country is to stop lying. Blows the mind.
On the issue of slavery. Ever since the forcible removal of millions of African Americans from chattel slavery, this country has been importing new slave labor.
That's right.
Because this country wants and runs and is fueled by cheap labor.
That's
whether it
right.
was
Well, she's got a point there, yeah.
Puerto Ricans, whether it was people we drew from Mexico to come here and continue to do so because the people who are on your side, big big agriculture.
Not my side,
Big
but I agree.
agriculture, the big corporate
Yep.
interests who want people to come.
Was she?
Yeah, Ann Coulter agrees with that, as do I. The Republicans are just as bad about this stuff as the Democrats. Yeah. All the big corporations, they love cheap labor.
Does say
Once
that.
I
we
agree
bring
with
people
you.
here- okay, well, once we bring people here, people's family members, people whose families are born here, are American. Both my parents are immigrants, so I take great exception to any kind of negative characterization of them. I had one come from Africa, my mother came from the Caribbean. When they came here, they came for the same reason that everyone does, for opportunity, for education. And when they're contributing to our society and they have a child here, like me, I'm a first-generation American, and I'm fully American, despite the fact that both my parents were born outside of this country.
Okay. That's.
Get her some reparations.
That also doesn't answer my point, though it buttresses one of the main points I am making. Yeah, this is cheap labor, and particularly...
But then why isn't the book called Thugs?
Well-
How corporate Republicans are decimating the middle class.
Well, that's a good point. That's a good point. I agree. It's not a Republicans and Democrats. It's a uni party. Yeah. It's all theater, guys. It's all theater.
How long do I have to wait? That's so stupid.
Okay.
In fact, as I told Scott, that's the one error in the book, the title. I didn't argue. You haven't read the book.
I've read it 3 times.
But I'll tell you what's in it.
On the plane,
It is
in the
far
hot
more
tub,
of an
once
attack.
high, once straight.
It is far more of an attack on Republicans, on big business, on the Chamber of Commerce than
Yes.
it is on
No,
the left.
I agree.
I
But
didn't
what
want to
would-
subject at all, but if I listed
let's-
all the people who are trying to turn our
you're-
country into a third world hellhole, it would go on to the back
is it-
page.
Let me ask.
Yeah, I mean, they are making a good point about what I mean. The big issue here is often, well, how can you blame these people? They just want to come for a better life, and I agree. If I lived in a shithole country, I would want to have a chance for a better life, to try and create a chance for a better life for me and my family. Absolutely. But no country is obliged to take me in, or to take my family in, or to automatically give citizenship to my children born in that country, even if I'm there illegally. They're just not obliged to do that. They have to look after their own people first, the people who are already there. So people like Ann Coulter frame it in a way where it sounds like they're blaming the immigrants. I don't blame the immigrants. I blame the people who encouraged the immigrants to come and let them in. Just like I don't blame the caravans marching to the southern border of the United States. Or I don't blame the Africans in Europe, where I live. I mean, the Africans getting on Zodiac rafts or Zodiac boats and going, into the Mediterranean, and then they're being picked up by NGOs and taken into Italy. I don't blame them, but I blame the political leaders in Europe for allowing it to happen, and not just simply saying, no more, finished, no, you're not an asylum seeker, you're seeking a better life, we get it, but not our problem. Go back to where you're from, sort it out there.
Let me ask you something personal.
Look, the question is still...
But
I'm glad
you're
you're
great-
here,
but
but
Ann,
why should America
Ann,
care that
Ann.
other people of the world are happy? They should care about the ones
But
who
Ann,
are here
Ann,
now,
Ann.
including you.
Yes, of course, it makes sense. Now let's see what this guy says.
And all the
Okay.
fruit you eat, all the vegetables you eat, they are all picked by foreign labor.
They can be picked by machines. These are all people going to be on welfare soon. Yes, there are machines that can now pick strawberries.
You cannot pick
strawberries,
them.
tomatoes,
But
and you don't
they
have to
are
pay them
not
Social
today
Security.
picked by machines.
You don't. That's
Yeah, they're picked by cheap labor because the cheap labor is there. And yes, Americans, the usual argument is, well, Americans won't work, hard labor jobs. They won't work on a huge farm for $2.50 an hour. Yeah, it's true. They won't. But they will work for a reasonable wage. And if there's no cheap labor, no scab labor, this is the thing with the leftists. They're all about unions and they're all about workers getting paid a reasonable wage for their job, but they don't mind that the cheap, labor from Mexico or other parts of the world come and perform labor for super cheap, super low wages under the table or whatever. They don't seem to mind that. They don't. So the whole thing is just, it's hypocrisy by the left. But there's plenty of hypocrisy on the right too here. I mean, we just need to shut the borders, shut everything down, shut a complete moratorium, sort out the problems, and then implement a sane, reasonable, rational immigration policy like we used to have prior to 1965.
They're
Because
picked
they're-
by
because
people
they're
who come to this
corporates-
country with their families
because
all right, all right,
and eat
corporations
their
are
food.
lazy.
All right,
Okay,
you know
the
what?
answer
Enjoy their food,
is-
but
All
you
right.
won't
We're not gonna-
recognize the justice
the
of their
answer
neighbor.
is
Are
you can
benefiting
mechanize
from
all
this.
of this.
We're not gonna, you know what? This
I
is
knew I'd
over
be talked
'cause-
over and I couldn't answer.
Yeah, I know. We're not going to talk over each other.
Okay,
That's
and the
all we do
answer
on this
is-
show. Sorry.
Okay, I'll take.
So I will take over. And I'll just ask you 2 more questions, and then we'll get on to the Pope. 1, Geraldo's your great friend. Is he okay with this book?
Yes, I said something very nice about the Puerto Ricans. They made our country more vibrant.
Okay.
My country more what?
I pointed it out to him.
All right. And also...
So we didn't, in other words, we
You're-
didn't need 30 million Mexicans. We already had African Americans, and I mean African Americans, not immigrants, and we already had the Puerto Ricans.
And what about...
Oh, sweet. Getting a little dig in there.
I'm just
What-
stating
and what
we
about-
didn't need the 1965 Act for all this vibrancy
Okay.
we're getting, because we're getting a lot of crime.
and what
and
about...
Yeah, no, we absolutely did not need the 1965 Immigration Act, the Hart-Celler Act. In fact, that act was probably, that instigated the main downfall the downtrend that we've been on for decades now. And if you look into the sponsors of that act, one of them, the main one, was Emanuel Seller. You can look him up on Wikipedia. He spent most of his time in Congress, his career in Congress, trying to get that act passed because he didn't like the fact that America's immigration policy focused only on immigrants from Europe. So let's leave it there. Ann Coulter, as always, a badass. Immigration is an evergreen issue. It's one right now. Let me know what you think in the comments about Ann Coulter and these idiots on the panel on Real Time with Bill Maher. And in the meantime, please like and subscribe. It really helps me grow the channel and continue making content for you.